In this video, we're going to talk about everything energy weaving. Okay, so if you are an energy weaver, if you feel drawn to energy weaving, if you feel like you heard it or you saw it somewhere and you feel like you don't know anything about it, but there's something in your soul that is like, I don't know what this is, but like I'm unexplainably feeling drawn to this and I feel the pull. If you heard it somewhere or whatever it is, or if you happen to land on this video just randomly, I don't think there's a random reason to why you're here. So if any of this applied to you, you are in the right place. So what we're going to be talking about in this video is what is energy weaving? What are some things you could do with energy weaving? Ooh. And who energy weaving is for. So if you're someone that is feeling drawn to it and you don't know if it's yours, stay until the end, because by the end of this video, you will know if it has anything to do with you. So welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here or if you're coming back, I am so excited to have you. I've been waiting to do this video for a while now because this is the foundation of my work. Deep chakra work and energy weaving is the foundation of my work. And then there's a somatic guidance and parts work that is universal parts work. What do I mean when I say universal parts work? What I mean when I say universal parts work is not just the psychological parts work that we know as IFS. Yes, those parts work as well, but also parts work that are diseases, that are injuries, that are illnesses in the body, as well as everything else in the universe is parts of us, right? Because if we're talking about the oneness, like one consciousness, then everything is a part of us. So this tree outside is a part of me. This butterfly outside is a part of me. Like animals, talking spirit guides, talking ancestors, talking extraterrestrial beings. Yes, all of these is basically parts of us as we are the oneness. What is energy weaving? Think of a spider. A spider that has a web, a spider web. And what do they do on the web? They can create new threads. They can build new things. They can open knots. They can restore ruptures. They can literally, it's creativity. So they can do a lot of different things on the web. So now you think of the spider web, translate it into the web of the universe. So we live in a universe that is an infinite energy field, that is an infinite web of energy. That what holds the web of energy is pure consciousness. So there's all the different realms and all the different layers, but pure consciousness holds in it the infinite web of energy. And this is the realm that we're going to be talking about today in this video, the realm of energy and an energy weaving. The infinite web of energy that is all across the universe. So what it means is if I am holding the web here, through the threads of the web, I have access to everything in the universe because all of the threads are connected to each other. And from one thread, I can create new threads. Whatever I want, I can create, right? So inside this web, this infinite web of the universe, there's more webs. So for example, our planet Earth has its own energetic web within the infinite web of the universe or the galaxy, or of course, you know, there's lots of webs within webs within webs. And then I'm going to move to our bodies as humans. We also have webs inside of our bodies. And I call them the chakras, the energy centers within our bodies. So what energy weaving is the ability to be the spider of the infinite web of the universe. And from this place, there's a lot of different things that we could do. We can create, we can restore, we can heal, we can transmute, we can open knots, we can do all kinds of different things. And I'm still learning about it. So it's like, because we live in an infinite universe, there's an infinite ways to learn and infinite wisdom to gain when it comes to energy weaving. And every time I do energy weaving, I'm learning new things. So if you are someone that is a weaver or you're feeling drawn to it or whatever it is, the best way to know what you can actually do with it is to actually do it and learn for yourself. And you may learn something that I haven't shared in this video because it's something that I haven't learned yet, but I've learned different things. So we all have our own unique way to weave. So when we're talking about energy weaving, if you're someone that is a weaver, there are very different ways that we weave and different things that we do with weaving. And I know it because I have two of my clients that are weavers, and it's very, very different for them than me and for them from each other. So before diving into what exactly we could do with energy weaving, I want to share with you the difference between energy weaving to energy healing or Reiki or light language even. So I just want to give you a little story before I'm going to say that. And I actually did a Reiki course a few years ago. And the reason why I did a Reiki course, because I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I need to know what I'm doing. I need to have a certification. So Reiki, I heard you work with energy. I think this is energy. Let me do Reiki. And I had a teacher that she was really amazing Reiki teacher. She's been doing it for 35 years and she was 8 generations from Usui. Very amazing Reiki teacher. But when I showed her my weaving, she was like, I think you may have a problem. I think you maybe need to stop eating gluten. And by that time, I've already worked a lot with the weaving on myself and on others. So I was like, I don't think so. I just basically from that interaction, I realized that it's just very different than Reiki, just very different. So from my understanding, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, because I'm not super familiar with other energy healing modalities, but from what I'm understanding from other energy healing modalities or Reiki is you're channeling source energy or you're moving energy from one place to another in the body or whatever ways we're working with it. And light language, on the other hand, to me feels like more like we're channeling frequencies from other civilizations or other beings of light. We're channeling the frequencies so we can bring those codes or those frequencies either on the person we're working on, if we're working on one-on-one with people, or on different places on the planet, if it's more like grid work. Because these are the main two ways that I work with energy weaving, or that I feel like people work with it. The difference between energy weaving to me is that it's a co-creation. It's you are literally weaving the web. It's a co-creation with the web. So you could take threads and you could put them together, and you can create new threads, and you can open ruptures. Like literally, like sometimes I'll feel like there's a huge knot, and like literally open the knots. This is how it's gonna look like. Like there's like a knot. So it's like kind of like these types of movements. So it's like very nuanced, I guess. This is the word that's coming up for me. And the ways that you could use energy weaving from my world, I'll give you the ways that I'm working with it. If you find new ways, please let me know. I would love to hear that. You can work on it on the body, on your own body, or with one-on-one with people, or in group work. Or you can do grid work on the planet. You work on the energetic web of the planet. Or, of course, you could also do universal grid work. So here are some of the things that you could do with energy weaving. I'm going to go from the planetary grid work. So, of course, there's also like universal ways to use energy weaving, like accessing the Akashic records or having access to the quantum field and timelines and all of that types of stuff. You could also bend time with energy weaving, and also, of course, connecting with different civilizations, connecting with different star lineages or star families. And the way you could work on it on planet Earth, aka grid work. If you ever heard of the term grid work, I'm probably going to make a whole YouTube video on that in the future. But on the grid work, on the planet, you could work on the ley lines of the planet, which is kind of like clearing stuckness. It's almost like the meridian points of the planet to create flow of energy, of life force energy. So maybe clearing out some of these stuckness of energies in the ley lines. Or you could work with the trees or the waters or the crystalline grids to strengthen the web, or to clear emotional stuckness from the waters, or restore ancient codes that are within the crystalline grids of the planet and the crystals of the planet. And the way that I personally love using energy weaving for grid work on the planet is I love working with different systems on the planet. So if we're talking about medical system, financial system, political system, religion, the food system, Hollywood industry, all the different systems and industries on the planet, or on different chakras for the collective. So I did a whole video transmission that was grid work for collective throat chakra. So I'm actually going to put it up here and also in the description below. And I also did a whole YouTube video for collective root chakra. So to expand consciousness from where we are staying stuck in root chakra survival and fear consciousness, and to expand beyond that. So it was also grid work for the collective. So I'm also going to put it up here so you can check it after you finish watching this video. So the ideas with different systems on the planet is that everything in this reality starts with energy. I mean, it starts with pure consciousness, and then with pure consciousness, there's the energetics, right? The energy field. So whenever we're talking about a relationship with a person or a trauma or anything else that we're experiencing on this physical world that we're living here in the 3D reality, including systems on the planet, it all has an energetic structure that is in the unseen realm, that is in the energy field. Now, these energy structure are actually the roots that then projects to the physical reality. Okay, they project from the roots, however the structure of the root is, that's the physical manifestation that we're going to see in the physical reality. Okay, does that make sense? So I'll give you an example from my own life. When I connected with the relationship I have with my mother, and I connected with the energy between us, I could feel a huge energetic knot between us. And so what I did is I went to the energetic knot and I started working on the knot, opening the knot, sending love to it. And then boom, our physical manifestation of our relationship shifted right away. Same thing, our relationship to money. A lot of clients I'll work with, they have like a lot of knots or stuckness in the energetic structure of their relationship to money that then manifest the stuckness with money, or like this place of like just having negative relationship with money, really. But the root of that starts in the energy field, in the energy structure of their relationship to money. Same thing, different systems on the planet. So if we're looking at the political system, we're looking at the medical system, we're looking at the education system, etc. Whatever we're seeing in the physical manifestation, it's just showing us that the energy structure that is so out of alignment, that is not flowing properly, that there's a lot of distortion, a lot of darkness within the energy structure of this physical manifestation. So basically what I do when I do grid works, working specifically on systems, is I go to the energetic structure of the system, whatever it is I'm working on. Of course, it's so big, but whatever it is I'm working on in different times, it's working on the roots of this physical manifestation. So in the collective and also personally, you could, with energy weaving, you could create energy structures. Like, I mean, the biggest energy structure I've created was in the size of a building of three floors, like really big building. And you could create an entire structure and put it in the energy field. And this structure can have all kinds of different purposes. It can be for healing. It could be, the one that I've created is like a generator for unconditional love, like just spreads unconditional love into the energy field. You could do for protection, you could do for manifestation, and etc. There's a lot of different ways you could use energy structures specifically. So with energy weaving, you could build structures and you could put them in the energy field, or you can put them in your body, depending on what you're working with. I want to move to how you can work on it as a person, as a human on planet Earth, and some of the things that I've worked with clients with energy weaving. So first of all, when I work with energy weaving, what I really do is I weave the chakras. So looking at the chakras as a web, as each chakra is like a spiral, and there's like, sometimes there's like ruptures in the spirals, in the chakras. Sometimes there's knots. Sometimes there's blockages. So like really like opening the energy flow. So it can look like a lot of different things. But the while working on the energetic level, weaving on my clients' chakras, what the weaving is, a lot of the times what I do with weaving in sessions is facilitating the connection. Okay, so the weaving in the session, the main way I'm using energy weaving on a day-to-day basis with my client is facilitate connection. Facilitate connection between my client to their injury. Facilitate connection between my client to their loved one who passed. Facilitate connection between my client to their ancestor. Facilitate connection between my client to their disease. Facilitate connection between my client to their relationship with money and to feel into what's in between. And also the energy weaving, what it does, it really brings things forward. It brings things to the front row on a somatic level, so we have something tangible to work with. And then we go into the parts work, right? So it's universal parts work. And then we start develop intimacy and connection with this entity that we're working on. So I'll give you a few examples of some of the things that I worked with clients. One of my clients, she wanted to know what her purpose was. So with the process of energy weaving and guided visualizations and parts work and everything that my modality includes, we were able to connect with her purpose, the version of her that knows what's her purpose, and she was able to give her the information directly from her. So it's not me. It doesn't come through me. So when I connect clients to their ancestor or to loved one who passed, it's not like a regular mediumship. It's more, instead of me telling you what the message from your grandfather was, for example, you are directly connected with your grandfather, and you can connect with your grandfather and ask the question that you want to ask, and you basically have the direct connection through feeling, through seeing, through hearing. And this is the phenomena that's happening in the third eye, right? So like when I'm facilitating the connection, it's a lot of like keeping that connection in the third eye, whatever it is that we're working on, or whatever other chakras that is involved with whatever it is we're working on, whether if it's physical, mental, emotional, or energetic matter that they have in their lives. I want to give you another example. One of my clients, she's writing a book, and she felt stuck on how to rewrite the book. She had to fix some things, and in the session we were able to connect with the spirit of her book, with the essence, with the energy of her book, and literally ask that energy, ask that spirit, what's the guidance, what would be the thing for me that would be most aligned to have the book in the most aligned way. And she literally received the guidance from her own book telling her, you have to ground, you have to connect with the earth, because it's very related to what she's writing in her book. It was like, what about writing in nature? Writing in nature is going to be a really good idea for you, and just allow it to flow. I'll give you another last example, just so you understand like the amount of things you can do with it is like infinite, and how you could also be very creative with it and find new things you could do with it. But I had another client the other day that I connected her with her kids' higher selves. She has 2 little kids, and she been having some issues around ways of being with them. And she was able to connect to their higher selves, and it was a huge emotional release session. And she realized like there was something in her life that she had a huge issue around that is very related to one of her kids, and she literally received the guidance from her own kids' higher selves. And basically the bottom line message for her was to trust her kids and to trust herself, and to really focus on trust, focus on trusting life, trusting the universe. Now, if we're looking at trust, the theme of trust, it's in the root chakra, and we've actually been working on the root chakra for many sessions. And it's kind of interesting because it just felt like a deeper layer within the root chakra. So these are just some examples and things that you could do with energy weaving. Like I said, there's infinite things. I mentioned also the connecting with the ancestors. So I'll give you another example. One of my clients, I connected with her with one of her ancestors, and she was able to ask her ancestor, what is important for me to work on for our lineage? And her ancestor told her, your throat chakra. And then we went into her throat chakra, and I asked her, okay, what do you feel in your throat chakra? And she said, okay, I feel like a knot. I feel like something in my throat chakra. And then we started working with that, getting to know that. It led to a deep inner child work. So these things can really bring up a lot of different things. And the creativity is endless because, again, if you think of the idea of weaving, it's literally connected to the entire universe. So just like the universe is infinite possibilities, I feel like when you start working with energy weaving, it's infinite possibilities. So let's dive into the best part, which is who is it for? But before we get there, I want to invite you to just close your eyes and feel into your body. When you hear the conversation about energy weaving, what's happening in your body? Do you feel something in your body, like you feel curious? You feel like something is drawing you to this. You feel like unexplainable curiosity to what this is. Maybe you look at one of the weaving videos that I do to see how it looks like if you never even saw it, and see what happens to you when you see it. If you are someone that feels the draw to it, I'm currently working on a sacred project that is going to be birthing my modality. And right now, the only stage that I'm in is talking to people, asking people about what do they feel drawn about it. Maybe it's some of you that's done some work and you're feeling the call to step into service. Maybe some of you are already in service to others, but want to expand into energy weaving, into deep chakra work, and to universal parts work. Maybe you are someone that wants to work in groups. Maybe you want to facilitate groups and events and workshops. Or maybe you're someone that wants to just do grid work. You just want to work on the grid. Or maybe you want to do groups working on the grid, right? So wherever you're at, whatever you feel drawn to, I would like to invite you to check out the links in the description below. There is one link for a sacred interview with me. And in this link, you're going to book the interview and we're going to be talking about where you're at, what are some of the books you like to listen to, how it feels like for you to embody your soul purpose, and all of these different ways. And if you feel like you haven't truly found your soul purpose yet, and if you're not really sure, that's okay. This is still going to help me tremendously because this is just a research. So every single person that I've interviewed so far, it's been so clarifying for me, and it's been so helpful for my research because I'm also learning through this research, who is this going to be for once it's here, once it's ready. Nothing is ready yet. I have nothing to sell yet. This is the only stage that I'm in. But one thing I can say is that all of the women I interviewed so far, they found a lot of clarity around their purpose and around their next steps. But maybe you want to hear, first of all, who is it for? Who can do energy weaving? Okay, so we got to this part. By the way, if you like this video, make sure you like this video. It's gonna help me a lot. And please let me know in the comments your thoughts. If you have any questions, if you have anything to add, I would love to hear from you. So energy weaving is, listen to this. This is the part that we've been waiting for. Energy weaving is an innate ability that we all have as human beings. Okay? Energy weaving is an innate ability that we all have as human beings. However, it lays dormant. Yeah, like we can't access it. A lot of us can't access it, or not can't. I should change the word, not can't, but a lot of us, it's just dormant. So it's like we're not aware of it, and we don't, even if we did want to access it, we don't know how to access it. And I do want to say that, yes, it's an innate ability that we all have as human beings. However, those who are feeling a draw to it, an unexplainable draw to it, and it's maybe the first time you've ever heard about this term, and you're just like, I don't know, there's something about this that makes me feel curious. It may be something that is in your soul's blueprint. It may be something that your soul is like pulling you toward, because it's trying to lead you to where you meant what you meant to work with in this life. And if that's you, if you feel that unexplainable draw to energy weaving, you may have it in your soul's blueprint, and it may be something that you meant to work with. And again, it could be many ways that you could work with it, but it may be something for you to look into, to feel into. So again, if you feel the draw, I want to invite you to book the interview below. I would love to talk to you. It would really help me for my sacred project that I'm working on right now. And if you're someone that is like, okay, I feel drawn to it, how do I get access to this innate ability that I have? Well, I can tell you that for me, it got activated in me. And I know this is something that happens to a lot of people, but everybody has different path. And there's no right or wrong way or right or wrong path. I did find out that there's a way to activate it within others, because as part of my project, I have been practicing on a person to activate her energy weaving. And I was shocked, but it was working. And of course, I was kind of being guided to do that. And I follow the steps that I received from a higher self. And I found out that, wow, we can do it. I mean, there's an option to activate that within us. If it's something that lays dormant, that there's a way that we can bring it to the front row whenever is the divine timing. So I really want to invite you to feel into whether if it's your timing or not right now, but just to come and talk to me in the interview and see where that takes you, see where that leads you. I don't know where this could lead you. You don't know where this could lead you either. So check out the links below. I would love to hear from you. And if you are feeling called to experience a session with me, whether if you want to work with anything emotional, mental, physical, or energetic, and actually experience how it feels in the body and like what we could work with, whether if it's something you heard that I said that you feel drawn to, or whether if it's something else in your life that's coming up for you that you feel like you want to look into, again, I want to invite you to check the links in the description below. There is a link for a free discovery call as well. And most of my clients are actually on Zoom. So I can take you anywhere in the world, and also in Austin, Texas, if you're here in Austin, Texas. And yeah, just feeling into your body. The intention for me behind my work is to help people remember the truth of who they are, beyond the programmings, beyond the trauma, beyond the stories. Now, sometimes the way there is like a lot of deep healing work, and sometimes the ways there are just very magical and beautiful. It depends who you are and where you're at. I just want to say again, thank you so much for being with me and watching all the way here, and I would love to hear from you, and I hope you have an amazing day.